Oftentimes I describe Don as a kind of person that dropped a rock in the lake and there were a lot of ripples. And in my case, it was a cannonball that hit the lake. He had such a powerful force, and he just is probably the most dynamic and interesting person I ever met.
Don did a lot of things in his early years. He managed to get 3 degrees from Harvard. While he was there, he founded a nonprofit company in New York, Urban Habitat, UHAB. He got his students from MIT to go to New York to help people rehab buildings. Don understood that the American dream means healthcare, education, and housing.
The cop, the fireman, the teacher, the nurse, the retail clerk, the entry-level professional, the industrial worker, you name it, the backbone of the economy in our market is being priced out.
I met Don when I moved to California to go to UC Berkeley, and Don was a professor of architecture there. And I took a class from him. The things I remember most were just his dynamism, his energy, his drive. You could feel it even in the classroom.
I wanted to really get his attention because he was the kind of professor that always had people outside of his door lined up waiting to talk to him. And Don was discovered through some of that process by then Governor Brown and was asked to be the director of housing for the state.
He understood that because Reagan was in office, the time of federal government subsidy to build housing was over. And so now is an opportunity to figure out creative ways to do public-private partnerships with local and state government.
So he looked a lot at zoning and density, accessory dwelling units, ways to make that easier, changing of building codes.
In December of '82, Don was basically looking for something else. And as luck would have it, the San Francisco Foundation got an anonymous gift of about $500,000. The donor said, do something about affordable housing. And so Don and I got recruited and hired the same day to start Bridge Housing.
It puts a tremendous responsibility on us as a national model to spend it well, to spend it efficiently and productively and wisely, to make something really happen on the ground.
Within Bridge, we were working on some very ambitious developments that were beyond just the housing component. One of the most important things as a development that he did was Marin City.
What we're trying to do is build an entire community, not just buildings, but buildings, jobs, and services. There are going to be 200 permanent jobs here.
Don woke up every morning smiling. He jumped out of bed. He was so excited to wake up in the morning and go to work. But he was excited about all the other things in his life too. He was excited about his kids. He left a wonderful family legacy behind.
The effect of his loss was dramatic. What do we do now? Where do we go without Don?
The only way to make sense of it is to say, well, his energy, which is pretty powerful, has got to be galvanized in all of us.
I thought, what better place than to come back to Berkeley at the College of Environmental Design, do active research, how we can build better, build more affordably, change our systems and our policies. And there is no other person who I would ever think to name this after than Don Terner, because he is the spirit of that driving innovation. I'm really, really proud of the work that the Terner Center has been able to do in these 10 years. The inspiring thing to me that Terner has done is really beef up the curriculum around housing development and real estate development and inspire people to go into the field. We've churned out students who are next generation of leaders, as Don did at Bridge.
Don became much more than a mentor. He became a best friend and family member.
For Don, it was always about the people. Give them a chance, and they can make an incredible contribution.
The next time you see someone who's homeless, look them in the eye. Understand that they're people too, who are suffering deeply. Our society is too rich, too prosperous, to turn a blind eye to this shame. Together, we must not
allow the politicians to dismiss this. This is something that is vital to the survival of all Americans.